Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our 2021 Remember America Orator, Jude Prestidge.
Good evening. My name is Jude Prestidge. I am in the 10th grade, and the title of my oration is The Responsibility of the Press. On January 19th, 2019, the New York Times released a news article with the grabbing title, Viral Video Shows Boys in Make America Great Again hats surrounding Native elder. Various news outlets covered this story, saying that a group of Covington Catholic High School students had surrounded a Native American, Nathan Phillips, and mocked him with chants. The chants were led by Nick Sandmann, who had stood inches away from him, with a smirk spreading across his face. The story caused an uproar in the media, and Nick, along with some of his classmates, received death threats and various insults from people, including members of the media, celebrities, and even politicians. It later came out that the students had not initiated any form of aggression or mocking behavior. The notorious smirk that Nick Sandmann had on his face was just his way of saying he was not going to get angry or aggressive when Nathan Phillips banged a drum inches away from his face. The media released the story without checking the facts and presented the evidence that they were in possession of in a biased way. This is a real issue, as major news outlets put out biased news almost every day. News outlets should be held accountable to inform and relay the facts, not to present biased information. News outlets should be held accountable because factual news reports should not collide with opinion or false interpretation. This is clearly outlined in the News Code of Ethics created in 2002 by the American Society of Newspaper Editors. Article 5 of the document stipulates, sound practice, however, demands a clear distinction for the reader between news reports and opinion. Articles that contain opinion or personal interpretation should be clearly identified. This means that if the news is presenting opinion, the article should be clearly labeled as such. The problem is not that opinionated articles are being released. The problem is that opinionated articles are being released as fact. Too often, false interpretation and biased news are presented as fact to the American public. Another reason why news outlets should be held accountable to relay the facts is because the Bible tells us not to spread false reports. In Exodus 23, Moses gives the laws of justice and mercy. Verse 1 says, "Do not spread false reports. Do not help a guilty person by being a malicious witness." According to the Bible, we should not be spreading reports that we know are false just to make another party look good, be it to our neighbors or nationwide through the news. In Proverbs 24, Solomon also reminds us that we should not give a false testimony. Verse 28 says this, "Do not testify against your neighbor without cause. Would you use your lips to mislead?" The Nick Sandmann case is a good example of what happens when we pervert the truth and purposely mislead. Because of the news outlet's eagerness to paint Catholic supporters of President Donald Trump in a bad light, Nick Sandmann and his classmates suffered threats and condemnation without cause. The news media purposely misled their audience and spread a report that was untrue, which goes against the teachings of the Bible. Lastly, news outlets should be held accountable to relay the facts because defamation and libel is subject to legal action. According to the First Amendment Handbook, which was created by the Reporters Committee, defamatory communication is one that exposes a person to hatred, ridicule, or contempt, lowers him in the esteem of his fellows, causes him to be shunned, or injures him in his business or calling. This means that if an article or a news report contains defamatory material, that which damages a person's reputation, it can be subject to legal action. In Nick Sandmann's case, his family received justice because what the press released in the story injured Nick Sandmann's reputation and created hatred and contempt toward Nick and his classmates. Therefore, Nick Sandmann's family won the case against CNN and continue to seek justice with other news outlets that released articles containing defamatory material on the story. Libelous material can also be fought against legally. Libel is essentially the same thing as defamation, but it is when the defaming material is actually written down or recorded. According to the Reporters Committee, a libelous statement can be the basis of a civil lawsuit brought by the person or group allegedly defamed, or, in rare cases, a criminal prosecution. According to the Reporters Committee, criminal prosecution. This means that if a news article contains a libelous statement, the person defamed can file a lawsuit. Even in the news media, justice and truth need to be upheld. In conclusion, news outlets should be held accountable to inform and relay the facts, not to present biased information. The Bible tells us not to spread false reports, and defamation and libel can be legally pursued. Christians need to stand for the truth. The next time you view a news report or read an article, check the facts. If you find an injustice being done, do what you can to stop it. It takes a nation to restore the role of the news media back to one of honest, fair, and factual reporting. Thank you.